So what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, and welcome to the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 9.7 versus iPad Pro 9.7. With the release of the iPhone 7 and the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 recall, we got a battle of the big boys tonight. Let's get it in 3, 2, let's go. All right, guys, so welcome to this video between the Sammy Boy 9.7 Galaxy Tab A. Okay, that was slang. It's the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 9.7 versus the Apple iPad Pro 9.7. Now, this tablet's been out for a little while. This one's also been out for a little while. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, why didn't you just take the Samsung S line and compare it to the iPad? Well, this is the one I have on deck right now, so I'm gonna do that. But the reason I'm doing this video anyway is because sometimes people cross-shop a mid-range price tablet and a more expensive tablet, believe it or not. When I'm going to look at products, sometimes I'll look at, for example, in the phone game, maybe I'll look at the OnePlus 3 and then I'll look at the Note 7 and see the $500 difference there. But are they really $500 difference apart? And that's what we want to know, because they're very similar products. Both are very similar in width, height, and both are very similar in the way they function. They're both 4x3 tablets, both 9.7 inches. And the Apple boy over there is got the Pro camera on it, but we'll talk about that later. Very thin. Both are very thin tablets here. But let's go ahead and begin this video with these tests with a boot up test in 3, 2, 1, and see which one gets to the home screen first. Samsung Galaxy Tab A on the left and the Apple iPad Pro on the right. Now, I usually do these videos with phones, but we're doing something new here today. So just we're gonna go through the applications, we're gonna do a speed test, we're gonna run a Geekbench, and the Apple iPad Pro just smoked the panties off. Yes, I said the panties. Just smoked the panties off the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 9.7. Now, it is a more powerful device though, so be aware of that right there. You know, the S2 would probably be closer to this iPad in terms of that aspect, but what we're just trying to see is how much of a difference not 500, like 400 bucks get you. This is like a $200 to $300 tablet. This is like a $600 to $800 tablet. So let's see how different they really are. So you can see both are very similar in terms of just the way they're set up. Samsung does allow you to put more applications on the home screen than the Apple device does over here on the right. But I want to go into settings and confirm the software versions that we are running on both of them. So if I go down into the Samsung, into the About Device section, we're going to scroll down and you're going to find that we are running ourselves Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. I've mentioned this in previous videos. Samsung has not gotten Nougat yet for their lineup. And right now we're just on some tasty marshmallows. So we got Marshmallow over there. Yes, I said Marshmallow. Over here we got iOS 9.3.5, which is the latest and greatest until iOS 10 gets announced tomorrow and they release it like next Wednesday. But for now, that's the official release as of September 6th, 2016. Heading over into CPU-Z, I just want to talk a little bit about specs before we get into the speed test. So this is rocking the Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 series CPU, which is a more budget processor. That's a quad-core 1.2 gigahertz processor, same one that's found in the ZT-Z Max 2, and it does have the Adreno 306. So it's like a budget processor and GPU that you're gonna find in like phones that are like sub 300 bucks. But you know what? Overall, it's pretty solid and it's optimized well because this is not a very sharp screen. It is a 1024 by 768. You can see the resolution right there. Only 131 pixels per inch on this guy, whereas the iPad is like a 2K screen. So it is pushing more pixels on the iPad, so that might make up for performance. You know, this might be closer in performance just because of that. But I'm not gonna say that it's going to be quite. And we do have an annoying ad pop up. This does have a 6,000 milliamp hour battery here, and this is the 16 gigabyte version of the tablet. But this does have micro SD expansion here. I'm not sure exactly where it's at. It's right there. As you guys can see right there, I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up. Let me see if the camera's getting that. But that is micro SD slot right there. So in terms of the software, if we scroll through the general UI on both of these tablets right here, you're gonna see both are very similar. Samsung's newer TouchWiz is basically iOS for Android. I mean, let's face it, they're set up similar. The applications are all like in sync. And in terms of these tablets, if you pick either one of these up, they're basically like the tablet versions of the iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy line. So if you get like a S7 Edge or an S7 or a Note 5 or even a Note 7, this is very much like a tablet version of that. And the iPad is basically, this iPad Pro 9.7 is basically an iPhone 6S in the body of a 9.7 inch beast with the A9X CPU, which is gonna be slightly behind the A10 CPU in terms of horsepower. But let's go ahead and close everything out now. Since we talked about specifications, we booted up. We've seen the iPad did boot up much quicker. And let's go ahead and see how the apps perform here. So, actually I didn't talk about the specs on here. So the iPad Pro here does have an A9X CPU with 2 gigabytes of RAM, and that is clocked at, I believe, 18.84 gigahertz. I'm not quite sure on that. Let me go ahead and check that. But we're not gonna get into all that. Just know that this has a beast processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and it has a very, very optimized and high quality gaming processing unit. So let's go ahead and get into the first applications here. We're gonna start with calendar up here. Let me go ahead and close everything. You see nothing is open over there. So let's go into calendar in 3. Oh my goodness. Let's go into camera in 3. Oh, come on, Sammy. Don't play with me like that tonight. Let's go into calendar. And you can see iPad open first. Let's go home. Samsung is home first due to Android's quicker animations. So you can see Samsung does go home quicker, and that's kind of shocking to see that you can get to the springboard quicker, even on a much lower powered, processor here on the Samsung Tab A9. So let's go into clock here, and you can see iPad was first, but once again, Samsung's home first. So let's go into camera here. iPad first, but what about picture taking, and then Samsung? So yeah, the iPad takes much faster pictures and much better quality pictures. If I go into photos, I want to show you a picture that I took with both of these devices here. Let me go into photos here. No, where is the last photo I took here on this camera? Not sure exactly. Okay, I took a picture of my dog here. That's Peyton. Say hello to Peyton. I'm gonna go over here on this tablet and I'm gonna find that same picture and show you the difference in quality. It's quite apparent, to be honest with you. It's like very apparent. So if we go here, you can see the iPad Pro 9.7 is hands down a better picture quality. If we go here, you could see them right there. Pretty solid detail. I'm not saying the Samsung is weak, but it's pretty much night and day in terms of the level of crispness you're gonna get. This is basically the 6S camera here on the right on the iPad. So a little bit noisy there on the Samsung, but overall, both are gonna take solid pictures, but you're gonna be blown away with the quality on the iPad. This is a creation machine right here. This basically, you can create video, you can take pictures, you can do what you do on your phone on this tablet, but do you really wanna still do that outside with the size of this thing right here? I mean, let's be honest. I'm not sure everybody wants to do that. But let's go and see where we are here. We were at camera, so let's get back into this test. Let's go into internet on both. And you can see Google has loaded up there. Let's go to Google here. Actually, let's do yahoo.com on both. Yahoo.com. And you can see even in the browsers, look at the keyboards. I mean, look at the white top. I mean, it's so similar. Let's go into go on both in 3, 2, 1. See which one gets there first. And both are connected. iPad was smoking fast right there. Let's try another website. Let's try technobuffalo.com. Let's try technobuffalo.com here on the right. And you can see, like I said, the white top on the, like the white theming going on there on the Samsung is very similar to the iPad. So I mean, if you look, using both of these tablets are gonna feel like a very similar experience overall. Let's go into Go here. Techno Buffalo flying open here on the iPad. So you are getting a faster experience for your extra $400 here, of course, here on the iPad Pro. But I want to talk more about the value proposition of both of these tablets later on in the end of this video. Let's go into settings here on both. And you can see the iPad smoking fast once again. Let's go home. Smoking fast on the iPad. Let's go into Play Store and App Store. iPad Pro, slightly behind, is the Samsung Galaxy Tab A 9.7. In terms of the app selection, Android is catching up to iPad in terms of the level of apps that it offers. However, the level of quality and optimization is still a winner here on the iPad. Now let's go ahead and go into eBay on both in 3, 2, 1. And eBay was open there on the iPad and then on the Galaxy. So, I mean, there's not really much more to say about app opening. The iPad Pro is a much more expensive tablet. It is quicker here, and we're proving that there. But is it so much quicker that you really need to justify $400 more? And we'll talk about that a little bit later about that value proposition. But let's go into Temple Run here. Gaming. Let's see which one gets there first. So the iPad, just as iPhones are usually faster than Android phones, so was the, game here on iPad. I fell in the water there, but you can see both run extremely well. Both tablets run extremely well in terms of once they get loaded up, both run extremely well. So you're gonna be very happy with the level of quality of smoothness that, I don't even know if that makes sense, but the level of smoothness that you're gonna get on both of these is very enjoyable on both. And honestly, the screen is much sharper here on the iPad, but that only matters if you're one of those pixel peepers and somebody who really cares so much about the screen resolution. But I do think that if you're reading a lot on your tablet, you're definitely gonna wanna go with the iPad Pro. If you're just a media watcher, it doesn't really matter too much if you go with the Samsung. Both are gonna look great on video, although you'll be able to watch, I think, 1440p video here on the iPad Pro. But that's pretty much it in terms of the app speed. We've seen that the iPad basically knocked out the Samsung Galaxy Tab A in every category, and that's expected. I mean, this is more in line with the top-end tablets, and this is more of a budget tablet. But now I just want to talk about the proposition of value here. So if you were doing this comparison, let's not look at the negatives between the two. Let's look at the positives. Let's look at the similarities. Very similar in the screen size. You're gonna get a very similar browsing experience, a very similar, just overall the way the apps are set up, 4:3 aspect ratio, 4:3 aspect ratio. You will have a level of customization here on Android where you can move apps wherever you want, customize it, theme it out. You're not gonna be able to do that here on iPad. It's just a springboard. Some might say this is the best tablet experience on the market. I'm not sure I agree with that. I do love iPad, and this actually is my personal iPad, so I mean, I do love it and all, but sometimes I do miss the fact that I can put stuff wherever I want it, like I can do here on Android. And that does come in handy, especially when you got a screen of this size. I do think that Samsung takes better advantage of the screen size here over on the Galaxy Tab A 9.7, and that goes for the Galaxy Tab S2 as well. Now, in terms of the overall, performance, the iPad Pro is a beastly tablet, probably the fastest on the market. But that doesn't make this Samsung a bad tablet. It really doesn't, We're gonna run the benchmark here on this phone, or on this tablet, and then we're gonna do the benchmark here on the iPad, and let's see which one performs better. Of course, it's gonna probably be the iPad, but overall, if you're gonna pick up one of these tablets, it's really about your price range, your budget, If you got $500, $600, $700, $800 to spend, if you want Android, I would still take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S2 line. But if you really just want a tablet to watch video, we're not even gonna do this test, it's not even worth talking about. But if you guys wanna see like a tablet that's gonna just perform greatly and just blow your socks off, then go with the iPad Pro 9.7. But if you just need a tablet for some regular browsing, some regular emailing, some regular just everyday use, you're not going crazy, you're not using it for some extraordinary processes, then I think you're gonna be very happy with saving your money going with probably a beastly smartphone and this tablet. I mean, you could get this tablet and a OnePlus 3 for the price of one of these tablets. You can get this tablet and an iPhone SE for the price of one of these tablets. So that just goes to show the hefty price tag of I don't care what your budget range is, how much money you got. You could have $1 million in the bank. This is still not a cheap tablet in terms of if you look at what's set alongside the shelves in the market or at the store. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap this video up. Like I say, if you're looking for a cheap tablet, I think you're gonna get a close to iPad experience here on the Galaxy Tab A 9.7. If you're looking for a beastly tablet that runs iOS and it's gonna get updated soon, go with the, iPad Pro 9.7. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for more technology videos like this. Hope you have a great night wherever you are. Be sure to be well, and peace.